The Cowboys, they are 30th in pass yards allowed per game with 283. 30th in total yards allowed per game with 404. They have 4 sacks in 2 games. That's not the worst. The Panthers have 1. The Patriots have 9. But they don't have Micah Parsons, and they've gone 2 games without Micah Parsons, so that's where they are statistically. Let's hear a little from Jerry Jones during one of his twice-per-week appearances on 105.3 The Fan on the question of whether he misses Micah Parsons in the Dallas pass rush.
Well, I think you can miss Micah at any time, and you can't argue that. I think that of what we have, though, is a defense that when we get it down, we get our gap responsibilities, as they call it. When we get that down, then I think that what we've done will be sound over a period of time. And that's as we add pieces to the defense. And we're going to, just as we did yesterday.
They have Jadeveon Clowney now, and, I mean, in his heyday, he could be at times as disruptive as Micah Parsons.
Right.
But he's not Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is in his prime. Jadeveon Clowney is not. Jadeveon Clowney was drafted in 2014 by the Texans. It's not the same. It's not even close to the same as – and even at his best, Parsons is still better than Clowney ever was.
Exactly right.
Clowney, he was the original F-up-the-play guy.
Exactly right.
That's how that first came up on this show.
Him and Michael Bennett.
With your description.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they made their decision, and they're living with the aftermath of it, and that's not going to go away this year or next year. Or as long as Micah Parsons is in his prime, it's not going to go away because we're always going to think whatever he's doing for the Packers, he could be doing that for the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Jadeveon Clowney is a hell of a player. Right, he was a hell of a player. He's still a good player. He's going to add a physical element to their football team. He is going to be somebody that can handle tackles and tight ends in the run game, and he'll be able to overpower some people and push the pocket. But yeah, like getting around the edge, bending around the edge. Ever since he had microfracture surgery his second year in the NFL, he's never been able to do that. So he's always, he's not a top-tier pass rusher, but in his prime, he was a top-tier defensive player, disruptor, F the play-up guy, like you explained. So, yeah, he helps their defense out to a degree, but not where we're looking at it right now going, ooh, there's issues. I mean, you got to be a blind man to not look and see the Green Bay Packers and the effect Micah Parsons has already had in 2 games. We've seen 2 quarterbacks who are as calm and as cool in the pocket as you can possibly imagine in the NFL, and Jared Goff and Jaden Daniels, they don't really panic in there, and they never felt comfortable in the game when Micah Parsons was in because you feel him. Even when he's not just busting around the corner, you're like, oh, he's about to get free. Let me get the ball out of my hand. And you're seeing that, and you saw it in the game, too, where Jaden Daniels had no time to throw the ball down the field. It allowed the secondary to kind of sit on things and break down and go get the guy and make a tackle for a 4-yard gain with a quick throw because you don't got the time to pat the ball like Russell Wilson did the other day and go, where's Malik Neighbors? Shoo! That doesn't happen with Micah Parsons, and that's an issue right now. And that's where Dallas is learning the hard way a little bit about how much Micah Parsons, other than stats and sacks, really helped out the defense. And right now, they got nobody that scares you as far as a pass rusher at all. And they're going to have to fix that as we go forward here.
Clowney signed that 1-year deal, and it's 1 year minus a couple of games, $3.5 million, worth up to $6 million. Now, look, this stat, it's a little misleading because Clowney has 58 sacks and Micah Parsons has 54 sacks. And obviously, Micah has played fewer games. He's played 65 and Clowney's played 140. But Clowney's strength has been not sacks, but the F-up-the-play dynamic, the ability to just destroy what offensive lines are trying to do and open the floodgates for others to get to the ball. And that gets hidden. But Micah's got that too, to a certain extent.
It does,
right?
Definitely.
But Micah's getting home to the quarterback at a much greater rate than Clowney ever did.
I mean, getting home to the quarterback at a rate that we've never seen anybody really get to the quarterback. That's the point. It's like getting to the quarterback.
I don't know why I said to an extent.
Yeah.
Yes, he's doing
right.
It.
You're right.
Yes.
I mean, it's the best we've ever seen ever out of anybody. That's what they traded. Nobody better at getting pressures in the history of the game through 5 years and disrupting things. And to your point, you're exactly right, Mike. That's the other aspect. This is where Micah Parsons is a superstar. This is why he gets talked about in the same sentence as Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor. Because even when he's not pressuring the quarterback or getting a sack that way, he is an F the play up type of guy as well. There's a number of plays where you can look at and go, oh, he was at defensive tackle. He busted through the A gap, and the quarterback just had to run out of the pocket or move. And he might not get a pressure or whatever because he got pushed by and he didn't get close enough, but he made the quarterback like uncomfortable and ruined the whole concept of the play. And the same thing in the run game. So he's irreplaceable that way. Jadeveon Clowney, I love him to death, and I think he was severely underrated in his prime. But, yeah, he ain't Micah Parsons, especially right now. Micah is really special.
Clowney suffered that knee injury that resulted in microfracture. The very first regular season game of his career, coming down on a seam on that turf in Houston. It was a Texans-Washington game. And that knee injury, I don't know how much he played the rest of the year. I think he tried to manage it and play with it, but he had the microfracture surgery after the season, and he never really fulfilled his potential.
Yeah.
But he's now in Dallas. And here's Jerry Jones on adding Jadeveon Clowney, and I suspect that this is the clip that includes Jerry revisiting a term that he coined back in 2012, and Clowney's agent used it recently in reference to Clowney's arrival in Dallas. Just have a listen and enjoy.
What we're going to ask him to do won't be foreign to him at all. And he's really appears to be in real good shape. And so he's got that experience, and we'll start benefiting from him immediately.
Jerry, his agent said, really, I'm getting him signed over there because I want to know Jerry's definition of glory hole and if it's the same as mine. That came from Jadeveon's agent. So could you just clarify that for him?
Well, he knows it's an oil field term. Comes from out when you're in the business of drilling wells. And it's when you've basically made a big well, and if mentally or physically picture just drilling a well and all of a sudden having all the oil start coming out at once and going in the air, and that's when you've known you've hit a glory hole.
Jerry,
I'm not going the other place, guys. I'm not going there. Too early in the morning.
So wait, if it was later in the day, he would have gone there. I mean, that's a real. It's get back to me after 12. It all goes back to the press conference that he held in 2012 when he was talking about the glory hole days in Dallas. And having said that, I want me some glory hole, because he said, I was here when it was glory hole days, and I was here when it wasn't. And having said that, I want me some glory hole. And then Rich Dalrymple, who was the PR director of the Cowboys at the time, tried to throw him a lifeline and say this is a term commonly used in the oil and gas exploration business. That was his chance to say what he said yesterday.
That's news to me.
And in response to that, which made the original clip even better. I remember when Devin McCourty joined us after he retired from playing with the Patriots, and we were in the Sprinter van on the way to the Hall of Fame game, and Jerry's name came up, and he had never seen it, never heard it, and it's always great to show it to someone who's never experienced that clip, and he just laughed his ass off. So Kennard McGuire, who represents Clowney, brought that up earlier in the week. So Jerry was asked about it. And it's one of the Jerryisms when they put him in the Hall of Fame, and that may be why it came up at the Hall of Fame game. His party, they had like all of the Jerryisms like on the napkins and stuff, and they had a montage of all the crazy stuff he said, and that was one of them. That's number one. I don't know what else is on the list, but that's number one.
That's the number one thing I'll always remember. He's doing a good job. He's trying to put, the glory back in the hole here with this whole statement here. But sorry, I'm not buying it, Jerry.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.